Is it not focusing?
No, I think you're on. You're on. You're good.
Is it recording?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to answer the question first. Why you created Mesh and how do you recognize the need for it in your school? So the need for Mesh we saw started in 9th grade. Chris and I had an empty hour during our leadership time and we decided to go hang out with kids with special needs. We noticed that they weren't eating lunch with regular education students. They were kind of ostracized, not on purpose by any means, but just because there wasn't a way and there wasn't a group for them to be integrated within and to socially integrate them. And so that's where the whole idea of Mesh started. And then we got involved in the program Youth Philanthropy Initiative, and that really gave us a platform to be able to start the program. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, why you named it Mesh? So we named it Mesh because meshing something really involves two parts equally. And so that involves the general education students and the students with special needs and bringing them together to socially integrate them, to mesh them, you could say. Why do you think Mesh is still relevant and important to incorporate within the schools? I think Mesh is still important because until students with special needs are fully integrated and have at least one person that can champion them, that is a general education student, then I think there's still a need for Mesh. We want to see events with students with special needs. I know whenever Chris and I piloted this program at Union, we saw a huge increase in numbers of kids attending those events and being more involved and coming to those prom work nights. It was really cool to see them be just like any other student. And I really do think it's because of those friendships that were made in the program. I'm just gonna go ahead and answer all of these and they can take which answers they want. Okay. What makes Mesh different from other programs in your opinion? I think what sets Mesh apart is the fact that it's really student-led. It's them taking the initiative and taking time out of their busy schedules to spend time with students with special needs and taking it further and inviting them to be a part of their communities and not just keeping it 1 hour a week during lunch, but really taking it outside of just the Mesh program. My favorite part / memories of Mesh. One of my favorite memories was, I know Chris and I are really close with this girl named Sarah Perrick, and she is a student with Down syndrome. She has Down syndrome, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Sarah Perrick is one of Chris and I's good friends, and she is a student with Down syndrome, and she doesn't let that hold her back by any means. If anything, she's one of the biggest lights at Union at the time, and now she's off at college, and I really do think that has something to do with her being so socially integrated and having her parents so involved. But there's this thing at Union called Mr. and Miss Union, and she was the first ever nominated student with special needs to be nominated as Miss Union, and she made it on the court, and it was just really cool to see her be celebrated in such a large way at such a large school. Success stories.
I mean, that was a pretty good success story.
Okay, did it sound okay or should I word it differently? I'll say it one more time,
yeah, say
just because that was like my first time talking about it in a while. So one of my really good friends who I still keep in contact with, and I mean, I'm 3 years removed from this program. Her name is Sarah Perrick, and she is a student with Down syndrome. Sarah just lives life so largely. She loves people so well and really just makes you feel known. And she was just such a huge part of such a large campus at Union. And I remember there's this thing called Mr. and Miss Union, and it's kind of like, not like a pageant, but they have courts. And so there's a certain number of juniors and seniors picked that the students vote on. And Sarah was nominated for Miss Union, and she was the first ever student with special needs to be nominated. And I really think that has something to do with the MESH program and students getting to know Sarah's heart and how she does represent our school so well, because she is just such a good, I don't know where I was going with that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we got a
You
lot.
guys can cut it.
So,
Your turn.
okay. Wait, do a little introduction. Say, hi, my name's Riley Howells.
Okay. Should I say my major?
Sure.
Okay. Hi, my name is Riley Vowles, and I'm a medical social science major from the University of Oklahoma. I am one of the individuals that had the absolute privilege of getting to start the MESH program.
Nice.
That sound okay?
That sounded perfect.
Did you stop it?
Yeah, we're just gonna do one straight.
long one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have to adjust it because I'm a little tall.
Yep.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna take some of these, is that okay?
Okay, yeah. You also lean it on this side.
Wow, this is a, oh. Okay. Stay sitting back, because if you lean forward, your head hits the top. Okay, all you.
Hi, my name is Chris Lurkey, and I am a junior chemical biosciences student at the University of Oklahoma. And while I was a student at Union, I had the privilege of starting MESH with a group with a great.
Good work.
Yeah, thanks. I'm the most awkward person on cameras.
No, me too. I hate cameras.
You did
This is
really
why we're science majors.
I know. Hi, my name is Chris Lurkey, and I am a junior chemical biosciences student at the University of Oklahoma. While I was at Union High School, me, along with a great group of other students, had the privilege of starting MESH. I started MESH because I saw a really big social...
Wait, let me, it looks like it's tilted. Did it look like it was tilted on?
No, I wonder if that's those books.
Yeah, it might be the books. Just before we get into this, it needs to be like this. Maybe I can put some papers under there. Oh, koozie. College. Maybe I can just, maybe that'll level it out. I feel bad that they have to go through all of this. I am so sorry if you are listening.
Thanks, Tana.
Oh. I think that evened it out.
Nice.
Wait.
Oh, you set it on top of the spiral. Though.
Yeah. Okay. Did you where did you put the square on me?
The square was like the bottom half of your face.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Cool.
Introduce yourself again.
Hi, my name is Chris Lurkey, and I am a junior chemical biosciences pre-med major at the University of Oklahoma. And while I was at Union, me, along with a great group of other students, had the privilege of starting MESH. We started MESH because we saw a large social divide between our general education student population and our special education student population. It really wasn't necessarily intentional, but we saw that friendships weren't being formed between the two groups, and we saw that there really weren't opportunities for friendships to be formed with those two groups. And so we wanted to do that. MESH, when we were a part of it, met once a week, and both our general education students and our special education students had the opportunity to hang out, play games, and just do things that regular friends would do. One really exciting success that I saw from MESH was our school dances. Before MESH, not many of our students with special ed. Before MESH, not many students with special needs would attend our school dances like prom or homecoming or things like that. But as MESH started to develop and friendships began to form, we saw a really big increase of our students with special needs coming to these dances and having a lot of fun and being invited into groups, and just a great byproduct of those friendships that were formed.
Byproduct. Good word.
Big byproduct, boy.
Should I say I'm pre-PA?
If you want to.
Okay.
You did a good job on why you named mesh. I think mesh is still relevant now because we have not completely bridged that social gap. There is still work to be done. There's still work to be done in younger grades. There's still work to be done in different schools. I am so thankful for the progress that happened at Union, and I am so excited to hear that there is progress going on at Tulsa Public Schools. But we need it to grow more. We need there to be no social divide between people with and without special needs. And right now, that is not the case. One direction I would love to see mesh growing, not only growing to other schools at the high school level, but I would love for it to somehow get into middle schools, into elementary schools, and start students young at knowing how to accept people who are different from them. I am so thankful for the initial funding from the Schusterman Family Foundation. Without them and without the Youth Philanthropy Initiative, mesh would not exist. But I am so excited now for the visionary leadership of TARC and the direction that they are moving mesh in. They truly want this program to succeed, but that cannot happen without the support of generous donors like you. I urge you and I urge everyone to please consider to donate to mesh, to donate to TARC, so that all people, all students, no matter what disabilities they have, no matter how they were born, can be accepted into this society. Some of my favorite memories in high school were mesh. I loved getting to hang out every Tuesday during lunch with some of our special education students. Through the